All right, guys, welcome back. Like I promised, today we have our special guest, Jenn, back. I didn't mention it would be Jenn, but surprise, surprise, she's back on the channel. She seems to have a lot of these frequent, you know, astral projections, astral experiences, which she posts about on her Substack, which I will link below. And she was kind enough, to include me in her Substack, and I've been really reading her experiences often. But this one struck me as extremely profound, and I had to get her on the channel so that she can share this one because let me first explain the synchronistic events that happen in regarding to this. So I was, conducting my research with pre-birth memories, seeing what people have found, on YouTube and things like that, or what they experienced. And I came across a couple people that were saying, "Oh yeah, before incarnating, I was kind of in this holding center, and I was getting in line to basically be reincarnated on Earth." And I was like, "Wow, okay, some connections are being made." Okay. Then I read Jenn's Substack, and she's like, "Yeah, it was basically like a holding center," and she'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then I get reminded that I had this movie written down in my notes called Defending Your Life, which literally described pretty much what Jenn said in her experience. So if you've seen that already, then it's kind of a spoiler, but do check that out if you haven't after this video, called Defending Your Life. It's about a 1998 movie, I think. 1990. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
90s movie. We both like 90s movies, so she watched it too afterwards. um, yeah, and I thought that was very interrelated. But okay, Jenn, you ready to share what happened? Let's
Sure.
start from the beginning.
Yeah, and like before I even posted about it, I was like, I don't want to post this because I know that it sounds really strange and like really kind of probably concerning for a lot of people. But basically, sometimes I'll kind of get launched into these astral travel experiences. And I know a lot of people, they will try to do certain things to try to astral travel or astral project. But
Hmm.
for me, it always kind of just happened kind of by accident.
Okay, so
And
nothing triggered that you weren't thinking of anything specifically beforehand. You were kind of being guided, you'd say?
I don't think I was like guided by anything outside of myself, but I guess I don't try to
Okay.
like astral travel or astral project, but it usually aligns with periods of deep meditation.
Mm.
So yeah, so um I'll just let everyone know like I'm still getting used to talking about this stuff out loud. But yeah, every day I'm fine.
Yeah, hold on. I want plenty of support in the comments, guys, because Jen feels a little
Okay.
bit weirded out. She's not used to, experiencing a wonderful community like you guys.
Yeah.
She just thinks this stuff is kind of weird, but you guys are used to it. So please support her in the comments after this video.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think also because my family is very like not, they don't believe in any of this at all. So I'm like
Yeah.
just really not used to it, like not used to talking to about anyone really. Like even like my closest friends. But anyway, but you guys get it. So this is like a very cool experience. Be able to talk about this. So yeah, so this was maybe 2 weeks ago or so, um, where I had this astral travel experience. And I guess at the time, I was maybe meditating a bit more than usual. And like I said, this is when I usually just kind of like, instead of having a dream or like a lucid dream, I actually have lucid dreams like several times a week. I'll have these astral travel experiences. So for me, like the difference between a lucid dream and an astral travel is that an astral travel, it just feels like it's really, really, truly does feel like you're in another dimension or another world talking to people. The people feel separate from you, and unlike a lucid dream where you can choose to create certain things. Like a lot of times in a lucid dream, I'll like paint a door and like open it and go through.
Oh yeah.
Here it
Intent.
feels, huh?
Through intent, right?
Yeah.
It's more.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like your own like creativity and imagination. But
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
it's just like you're there. Like you're actually in another world, and it does have this more dense feeling where like you see another person, they feel very separate from you. So this
Mm-hmm.
is so this world that I went to felt like that. And so yeah, like some pretty interesting things happened. So when and it wasn't linear, I kind of was like disappearing and appearing in different places.
Right.
But this place felt like, it honestly felt like a center or like a campus almost. So like almost like a compound, if I were to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of what I remember of like the buildings and like the pathways and everything is that it was actually like pretty nice. And which was interesting because sometimes when I go into this astral realm, and I feel like this was like just above us. So like
Mm-hmm.
I guess people could call it 4D or like the lower astral.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit above, maybe like a tiny little bit above. It's hard to know like exactly what the level is, but
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so and so it surprised me because it was honestly like pretty damn nice. Like there
Yeah, because that's
were,
that's usually where the demons are, right? From what we've heard, the
I don't
lower
know.
astral.
Yeah, but
So.
it kind of made me think because when you walk around here, you see like a really nice mall with like a chandelier in it, and then right next to it, you see like a homeless person like in an alleyway,
Mm-hmm.
like in like a
Right.
big city.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any reason why there couldn't be nice things or what we would consider nice things um, in the lower astral. So some things that happened, I was like walking along the hallway of one of these, like kind of inside this campus or the center. And the people who worked there, they seemed, I don't know, they just seemed like the people you would see working here, just very, just like busy. They were just doing their jobs like someone would pass by. I mean, I could just tell that they worked there. Like they were maybe like a cleaner or something, some kind of
Mm-hmm.
like admin person or something.
Where were you at a
Um,
grocery store? You said,
yeah,
or
and yeah, so I went to this grocery store which was really fancy and like really nice.
mm.
Um, and there was like a I can is it yeah I'll just say the details. There was like a to go kind of food area
Mm.
um, where you can like scoop like salads and other things like that. And it was just a really nice grocery store. And I feel like I've been there before, like maybe like a year ago in an astral travel before, which is interesting. But and I wanted to eat for some reason whenever I'm astral traveling, I'm very focused on food. I don't know why. So I asked one of the grocery store clerks like how we get the food or how we buy the food. Or no,
Right.
I said something like, can we just like take this food kind of like, is this free? And she said, like, no, we don't offer any free handouts here, and kind of like rolled her eyes. And well, I just took it anyways because I didn't have like any money with me, but um that was interesting because it again reminded me of how someone would react here, like if you actually went to a grocery store and you asked the clerk, like, oh, can I have this for free? They'd say, like, you don't give any handouts, like what's wrong with you, kind of thing, you know?
So they were endorsing the idea of money there, right?
That's what it seemed like. And also, like, as I went through this journey, I kept coming to this idea of when you're there, you have a certain amount of credits.
Oh.
So, and those credits have to do with how much karma you have, or like how much, or how good you were, I guess, in the life before.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for example, people who had more credits, and this is so weird because it was exactly like that movie.
Yeah,
The
we'll talk
difference
about
in your
that.
life. I was like, what the
Yep.
People who had more credits were like could stay like in the nicer apartments. So there were like these little housing complexes. So if you had more credits, you got like a nicer place. And if you had less, like you had to stay in this kind of, I don't know, it just reminded me of like a community housing kind of complex. Same deal as here, you know, like they have like nicer houses, and then down the street you have not so nice houses.
Everything is reflected. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
the Chinese are doing, right? I mean, we know the Chinese system is a pretty malevolent one, or poorly intended one, because it's a social credit score, and makes you wonder about what type of credit score they're using up there as well.
Yeah, I heard about that actually. Stuff to was doing. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. It was cool because I was shown all these little like departments kind of. I don't know why I was shown this. Like what the heck? I don't know why I went here. But I feel like I've been to some similar places before. And so I went to this theater as well. So like within this campus was like a pretty big theater. It was like the stage was black with like black curtains. Um, and it like the seats went back like super far, like they were like, and it was very like on a very pretty steep incline. So like you could fit like a ton of people in there.
Auditorium.
And huh?
An auditorium, right?
Yeah, like a really big auditorium. And so I was in there in the theater, and there was a man on stage. I even remember what he was wearing. He was wearing like a brown sweater. Oh, I remember that. And he was basically being told that he had like because he took money from someone who I think like was maybe in his family or something, like he stole money from them. And because he did that, it like I didn't hear all the words specifically, but it was just this feeling of like he seemed like very upset by it. Like because he did this like in his past life, like he took money. So now he like doesn't have as many credits now, and he has basically the option to like work here or like work. I don't know if it's in the compound or maybe like just do something in this lower astral area in this
Do you
like
think they could
holding
take out a
center.
loan?
Huh?
Do you think they could take out a loan? A loan of good karma?
Oh my god, that's funny. I don't know if that's funny. Maybe there's banks.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't even like think of that actually.
I
That's
bet you
funny.
there are.
Yeah, that could be. Honestly, like this like dimension that's just like that's very close to us in resonance, this like lower astral, it's very similar to here. Like you have to pay for stuff and yeah, it's very, very close to here. Like can't express that enough. There's so many things that I ran into where I'm like, okay, that's weird. That's just exactly how it would be here. But anyways, um, so yeah, so this guy clearly had to have like make a choice of kind of paying off that debt here so that his next life is like more light and easy sort of thing. Um, or I'm not so sure about this, but it just seemed like, or he could like reincarnate and just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah. Spin the wheel. Huh?
Huh?
Spin the wheel of fortune.
I guess I don't know. Um, and so yeah, so that was like the whole theater situation, and that's all I got. That's all I really saw in the theater. And one option is to audit these reviews or these like um when like people are standing on stage and you can kind of learn from what mistakes they made so you can actually solve things for yourself by watching if you want. And I've seen this actually, I think in other movies and stuff. I've seen this that concept before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then I went, where did I go for that? Yeah, so then I went to, I wasn't supposed to be here. Like I went literally into the back room of like the mail center where they like send mail.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this, it was interesting because this mail or like post office, yeah, like totally post office. It was like fancy, like it was nice. Like it was in the Defending Your Life movie, they mentioned that, oh, it kind of feels like Disney World. Like that's kind of the aesthetic of some of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
places. It's just everything's just like I don't know, you'll see like a golden like a design on the wall or something, or you'll see like the lighting is actually very nice. It's like some like little chandeliers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, this post office, they had mail like in these like huge bins. And I'm not sure if that mail could be sent between people in the or Astrals are I'm gonna get to something in a second
Of
about
course.
like
Yeah.
family connections.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if that mail can be sent to people here through maybe through like a dream or something like that. I don't know about that. I was just me like thinking,
Oh,
why do they
okay.
have mail there? Or
Yeah,
where
yeah,
can
yeah.
we send it?
So it's interesting
Anyway,
the food thing. Remember a connection to family. Just for a second, it's the food thing
yeah.
that you're experiencing in the astral that you want to try out the food or something, or like you're
Mm-hmm.
attracted to the food. So in the Defending Your Life movie, they have basically all you can eat, and you never
Yeah.
get full, you never get fat, and they're the first thing the guy experiences is like, yeah, let me try anything. And he's like, what's good? You're like, everything's good, just here. And then he
Yeah.
sits down with his prosecutor or with his defendant, actually, his lawyer, and the guy's eating some kind of like dirt looking food that's
I
like
know. Yeah.
literally looks like worms or something. I don't even know what it was. And the guy's like chowing down on his chicken or whatever he's eating, and he's like, "What the heck are you eating?" And Jen noticed this as well, but the defendant has this very reptilian vibe, and they claim to use a lot more of their brain power up there, upwards of like 40 or 50%, whereas the little brains use only 3 to 5 and on Earth. And that's why they're sent to Earth, of course. And the guy is eating. He's like, yeah, I can basically make this, project this to be whatever I want it to be. I can make it taste like whatever I want it to taste like. Because when the guy tries it, it tastes basically like, I don't know, dirt, like the worst food you can imagine to eat. And he was really disgusted. So I thought that was an interesting parallel to your story.
Yeah, and well, to me the food like looked amazing, like at the grocery store. This was like the fanciest grocery store I've probably ever seen. Like, I'm trying to think like of an example to even compare it to like an American grocery store, but it was just really nice. There's like I said, like chandeliers and like kind of like gold, a little bit of gold and stuff. But you did in this place, you did have to pay for it somehow. Like transactions were happening. But it could be that if you have more credits, yeah, that wouldn't be a concern, or I don't know actually.
Yeah, because also in the movie, the guy, he gets to a pretty nice hotel. He's like, oh, okay, like a regular Marriott or something. And then he meets this woman, and she was like the best thing since sliced bread on earth, apparently, because she was like in the 5-star hotel. Her, they were going through this life review at the time, or rather a life judgment that was being prosecuted and defended by 2 different lawyers, and then there were judges there as well, overruling the case. And her life review was stellar. They were only looking at like a couple days, as opposed to this guy's 9 days that they have to take a look at, because
they were like looking at clips just for fun because they like were entertained.
Yeah, they were amazed by how good of a person she was on Earth and how many lessons they had gone through, right?
That definitely aligned with the apartment situation where it seemed like some people were out of luck and they had to be in the like lower tier, and then obviously the good people who like did good they just have more credits. They have more credits. I don't know like what these credits are, and I wasn't sure how you even paid for them or how you even paid with them. But so I'm trying to think of like all the different places in fact.
And it's similar to like the astral, the way the astral is structured. All the positive beings are on top because of all their good karma. It's like a giant entrapment, a giant capsule, and then we shove all the bad people at the bottom. Another version of heaven and hell being portrayed through the astrals.
It is like here in 3D we have a lot of like hierarchy, like we just do. You have like the poor people on the street, and then we have the rich people. And I guess you wonder, like why?
And they're both suffering usually, right? Whether you're rich or poor, they're still suffering.
I do find, you'll hear a lot of rich people say that it's like basically hell being like super, super rich. Better to just be like in the middle, I guess. But so okay, the mail. And then there was another place I went to. This was like a tour. This was crazy. Like, I don't know why this even happened. It's really weird. But anyways,
for you to share, obviously.
I guess. So there was this. I like. Okay, I just need to picture it. Hold on, do you remember? So this was, I guess you could call it a store or like a gift shop. situation, where you could go there and you could get a copy of anything you wanted, basically, from your previous life. So they could make it for you, like exactly how you had it. So you could get like a stuffed animal, or I actually saw like a diary being made for someone. That I feel would probably be a popular thing, like to get your old journals and stuff. And this, like, you would probably get whatever items you could get, like you could afford, basically, based on your like credit or whatever.
They
So
really
that was
made this
like
place
pretty
kind of
cool.
fun.
Yeah, it is like, it's like a Disney World. It's like,
And like an amusement park, right? And what's the way
yeah.
out of the amusement park usually?
Huh?
What's the way out of the amusement park usually? Do you know?
Through the entrance. I don't know.
That's the way in. The way
Oh,
out is always through the gift shop because they want you to
oh,
buy
is that
something.
true? I
Yep,
didn't know
yep.
that. That's okay. Well, maybe, yeah, well, maybe there's something like that. Um, yeah, so okay. What do you remember? Yeah, so after that, I went to this, like, one of the lower tiered housing complexes. And okay, I just need to like take a second to remember the actual visuals. Yeah, so it was like pretty like nice and grassy with like trees and stuff in the middle, and kind of on the outside. So it was kind of like what's that thing like in the middle of, like a courtyard kind
Oh,
of thing.
fountain. Oh, courtyard. Okay.
It was just like a little like courtyard kind of
Courtyard. Yeah.
like round thing. And then on the outside were these apartments, but they were more like townhouses, I guess. And this part was interesting because I got kind of a chance to see all the different like families, who were like staying in these townhouses. And like people were kind of just hanging out. Like there was a mom with a kid hanging out on like a stoop, sort of. Um, and people were just doing things that you would normally do in like a neighborhood, like community kind of neighborhood.
So they were living there.
Yeah, but it felt like they were there like temporarily. This is why like this whole place felt like a temporary kind of holding center. Um, so this, yeah, so I would see like some people like had their family members together, and these could be people that like passed away and then waited there to like for their
Oh,
next family members to come, you know what I mean?
okay.
I thought, I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't know how long these people are waiting in these apartments, but I don't know like the length of time. But I also saw some people who were like just totally alone, and they seemed like definitely not happy. Like, no, not happy at all. And they were, um, and I also saw like two people uniting in the courtyard area, and they were like so happy, they were like in tears. Like it was like this big kind of
Oh wow.
reunion type of thing.
They waited for each
Um,
other.
huh?
They waited for each other, or they might have planned it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or like one of them waited.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they would have had to wait. Maybe it's shorter. I actually like wrote in my post, I think it's not as long,
I think so
obviously,
too.
because
Yeah.
it's like maybe the more like out or like higher you get in the dimensions, the faster energy moves and then the faster time goes.
Mm-hmm.
But with yeah, so it was just clear that like people were separated from their loved ones. And when I was actually okay, and then when I was in the theater, um, the guy who was on stage, it was just clear that he like the kind of deal was like he wouldn't be able to see his family members, like certain family members, because there's still stuff to work out there. So, and I even kind of got this feeling that it was even people who were already there or who have already died, I guess. So
Okay.
if for example, this is like really hard to like work out in my
No, you're
mind.
doing great.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're doing
Um,
great.
okay. If if you like died and then, for example, let's say like your grandma or your grandpa's over there or whoever, someone you had a relationship with is already there, um, you technically like if you still had stuff to work out with them or if you like did something to them or there's still karma to clear, like the resonance between you is there's like a block there, like your energy can't come together kind of. So you have to do things like audit other people's um,
Oh.
performances on like the stage or work there or reincarnate or
Oh.
something else. I don't know. Oh, I guess like if they've already reincarnated, you would probably choose to reincarnate. Oh no, now I'm just kind of like speculating on possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard
But
for these
it's
people to really make choices because of how much they're being pushed in certain directions, I feel. Do you
yeah.
feel like anyone was being rushed there or was like being thrown in line and told to get in front of some other people to discuss their next life or anything like that?
So I didn't see at all the kind of like lineup going in.
Okay.
Um, in like previous astral travels, I have seen stuff like that. I think there's like more than one of
Yeah. Yeah.
these
I think
areas.
so.
Or
Mm-hmm.
like, um, but I in this particular case, I kind of saw the holding center and like where you work out certain like karma and stuff if you want. I don't think like you had choices, of course. If you don't
Yes.
have to. But it's kind of one of those things. It especially seeing people in the apartments and seeing like broken families kind of in all these apartments. So it made me
Okay.
realize like, oh, like if you were there, um, you would and you really you kind of died unexpectedly and you still um loved someone or you had like kids that like you want to make sure you're there for them when they come, like when they like cross over, you would maybe choose to stay. I don't know. I don't.
Mm-hmm. If they
This
even
is,
land in the same place, huh?
huh?
If they even land in the same place.
Yeah, and that's also something that I was thinking about. Honestly, this whole experience was pretty. It just got me thinking about all of the different places you could go and how, like, it just made me think why these people, like, why these people are here, and like, it doesn't have to do with their like their like energy or their like frequency, or maybe it has to do with just how much they've released in this life. So I think um, a lot of people, like pretty much all of us, like everyone on this earth plane, you have trauma in your body, like it's just in there, and it's keeping you stuck and just heavy. It's keeping you.
I see.
Yeah. And you know about this probably, but even before like I got onto this call, I was like, I'm too scared. Like I was like scared, like I was reacting, like my body was reacting to it. And this, like, being on this earth level, it's very tough. It's very, very tough. You have like a lot of trauma kind of running through your body at any given minute, pretty much. And I think the more you kind of like lighten it, like lighten your energy through like all these different methods. Like we all know there's all different ways to like release like pent up trauma and stuff in the body. I think that you would maybe like skip right over this place, like you wouldn't energetically match to it, kind of thing. Because I'm in a human body, obviously.
Well, yeah, no, because we think about like, hey, okay, so the astral, this Earth holding center, and whatever is above it, whether there are other holding centers above it, to kind of gatekeep you from different levels, or there's multiple ones on the same level, or what. It's very similar to Earth, and you don't have to do this stuff on Earth where you're working hard or fighting for survival. Although it sounds like there you do have to work, where you can enjoy the aspects of Earth in the astral, eating, drinking, whatever human experience in the astral without having to go down into the traumatic pit of Earth to then get weighed down and beat up energetically. But, then we get into this idea of the bodies, right? So each body is adding another layer of weight to the actual essence, right? And these bodies are limiting the experience, because even in the astral, that lower level of the astral, it sounds like, well, they're not really doing what they really want. They can't. They're still limited by karma or some beings imposing stuff on others. Like, for what reason? Why are we being imposed upon? Who's managing this level of reality? Who's in charge of this place? Is there a government? Or are we just willingly giving our power away every single realm? And these are questions that are popping up in my mind as you're describing this place.
Yeah. And I was also, questioning. So, like, these people that are here or in this holding center, I think a really big thing that's holding them there is the heavy emotions they have towards people in their family,
Yep,
or like lovers or whatever, children, anything. And or it could be maybe a pet, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see any pets in there though.
I don't think I did actually. No.
Yeah, I think they have a special place for them.
Oh my god, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Buddhists describe it as the animal kingdom.
What? Okay. I would like to go there actually.
Okay, well,
Um,
might have you on next time. Describing the animal kingdom.
yeah. I'll like try to intend it, although these like astral experiences, they just like happen. Wait, it's kind
Right.
of weird. But yeah, so and you can even, I think, be attached to, if you've like written books or written, like put a lot of art into the world, you could maybe want to make sure that it like stays the way you want it, kind of, or
Yeah,
I
a
don't
lot of people
know.
die like that. Yeah,
I don't know.
they die worrying about their life accomplishments and how other people perceive them after they're gone.
Yeah, or if
They're very
someone
much
like
attached.
does like a remake of your film, maybe I don't,
Yeah, yeah,
or something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But
that's why I talk about releasing attachments, because you're attaching yourself to this false reality, and then it's
yeah,
affecting you in other realities. Also
yeah,
false.
yeah. So I think that the people there, you know what, like people love their family, like they just do.
Yeah.
So it's like a really, yeah, super tricky thing, because and I started to imagine, just hypothetically, for I don't know if I'll even like go to this place. I think there's a lot of people who, yeah, they won't even know this place, like they'll go somewhere else, and I don't even know where that is. I
Okay.
can't even guess like where the next, like the next level above this is. But
Yep.
um I just started thinking, wow, like if I was there and they said you'll like literally never see your twin sister again, like ever, like you won't be able to even like cross paths unless you like clear the karma between you two. I'd be like, oh my god, like
Hmm.
I should probably, I should, right? Like she needs me, like we need each other, whatever. Um, yeah. You could also, yeah, you might think like if you have a kid, because of the same thing. It's crazy to think about it.
Yeah. Plus, the illusion of karma is like that something needs to be done, there needs to be work put into it. But really, that karma is just do you forgive me? Yes. Okay, I forgive you. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we don't
We're
need to make
good.
any crazy contracts regarding this or have
Yeah.
any emotional attachment to this.
Yeah. And I think that in this level, I would expect that we would retain our memories of Earth, because it would benefit the center. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you thoroughly remember all of the people in your
Yes.
family and
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Yeah. So
Like,
prior to the life review and during the life review, you would definitely keep your
yeah.
memories.
But like that kind of confuses me, because I've heard of some people having like near death experiences, and they like don't care about their family anymore. Like they feel very um, like they just don't like have the attachment to them anymore. So this is like clearly just like a lower level thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But it's very telling. Yeah, it's very telling. I'm sure after the life review, boom, boom, memory wipe, suck all your memories, all your experiences, eat you all up, clear
Oh,
your astral body, so you're nice and good and you're pure again, right? You get a nice little bit of rest, even good treatment, and then boom, back in the war zone you
oh,
go.
okay, okay,
Yep.
that makes sense then. So yeah, you're saying like during the holding
Yeah,
center, you would, yeah, okay, that makes
it's
sense.
like a rehabilitation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would keep the memories, and I think if you wanted to wait for someone, obviously you would keep your memories the whole time. Weird. Oh,
Yeah.
so weird.
Super.
I didn't think of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely recommend watching the movie Defending Your Life. Definitely lots of parallels in regarding to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
I
others as
love
well.
movies like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because the main premise of this movie was fear, right? He wasn't able to conquer his fears, and that's why he was getting sent back. And he was arguing his case. But really, there's no case to argue. You can just kind of get up, be like, no, who are you to decide what happens to me, first of all? Because whether I have fears that, first of all, were projected onto me, were given to me. How was I supposed to know any better? Like being drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And I also thought that the how the like reptilian lawyers
right.
were, I swear, like weird bloods. They It was interesting because they weren't being like like they weren't being um like making that guy, that main character, I forget his name, but making him seem like he was like a horrible person, but they were just saying he wasn't brave enough or wasn't
Yeah,
just
not good
enough to
enough.
break through the fear,
Yep.
I guess. And that was unexpected to me because that's kind of like, when you think about it, like, I guess that is kind of fair. Like, I shouldn't be so afraid. And I think maybe that was the basis. Like you've mentioned this before, where like this level wasn't as harsh as it never used to be this harsh. It was just more like you just had a little bit of fear and you can like break through it. But I think these days there's like a lot. There's a lot
Yeah.
of
Well, it's only deteriorated, really.
mm-hmm.
And this concept of evolution hasn't really been shown very well in the world because things haven't evolved; they've devolved, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, they were basically looking at this guy's life or the specific days, and they could pull up whatever day they wanted on the screen, right? And you described the auditorium, very similar. People could probably even sit in on the guy's life, like you mentioned. It wasn't shown in the movie necessarily, but to audit their lives and learn from their lives and whatever. It's just weird. It's very, very weird, in my
It
opinion.
is. That's like the only way I can describe it. And that movie is just, and I don't know if I think I've sent you this one guy on Instagram. His name's Justin Bellucci. I must have sent you his stuff before because he like does these full posts on all of those types of movies where they throw in like little like lizard related
Oh, really?
things.
I don't
Yeah.
think you sent me. Oh,
Okay, I'll send it to you after.
perfect.
But I always would like look at his posts and be like, no, like what? He's making that up.
Oh.
But in this movie, it was just weird because they would say little like lizard innuendos or just little things related to lizards, but like there's no like in the actual movie, like they're not lizards. Like there's
Right.
no obvious reference to it, but there's just like the sushi chef was like, oh, you don't want that. That's like lizard food. But like never mentioned again. Like that's like the only time it was mentioned.
Yeah.
And I never believed that. Like I would look at this guy's post and be like, he's like being really paranoid. Like he's being crazy. But then after watching one of these movies, like I feel like it's a lot of movies from the 90s actually.
A lot of them are very revealing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like something about like the low budget 90s movies that like didn't get a lot of attention.
Yep.
They're just kind of like C-rated movies.
Yep.
They have that stuff in it, so it's just kind of like Okay, well, okay, so I guess this guy's right. So like what why? Like why say like that one thing in the whole movie? Like lizard food. Why?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, that's why I study these entities or these beings,
Yeah.
because our lack of awareness of them and their hierarchy, because that's how they run in hierarchy and that's how they set up these realities in a hierarchy,
Mhm.
is, you know, your lack of awareness will lead you to be unsuspecting to what's going on. Like, oh, well, they have no reason to do this. Why would they do this? So it's just all fine in the end. Yeah, it makes sense. I need to go there. I need to figure this out, pay my debt, blah, 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 and go back. It's very similar
Mhm.
to credit cards here. Oh, well, just a credit card. They're just giving you money. It's basically free, just pay it
Yeah.
back. Well, no, the whole system is faulty to begin with because you can't just make money out of thin air. So you can't just create karma out of thin air and give people
Yeah.
credits to spend on stuff. Like that's not how things work. We are divine beings that can create for ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't need you to tell me what I can and can't create, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that is a good comparison actually. The credit cards. Because yeah, there's
Yeah,
credits on this level. Hmm.
yeah. And tell me everything from what I've learned just from looking at your experiences. I'm like, oh wait, everything we need to know is already down here. I think it's already being shown to us.
Mhm.
Like the whole judgment thing that they were doing in the guy in the movie. I mean, the guys it looked like he was in court, and they're like, "Oh, you're not in court. Don't worry, you're not being judged. This is just analysis, observation." Okay.
Mhm.
No, the guy was being judged. The guys are wearing the robes. Illusions to Saturn. Everything's centered around Saturn. That's why
What
my
do you think
opinion
the
that
robes were about?
like
The
the
white
black robes.
robes.
Oh, the white
Yeah.
robes. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That I was getting like Roman vibes or like
Okay.
basically a member of the Roman Empire by being here,
Yeah.
servant to the Roman to the gods.
Yeah.
Um, it looked like
In
togas,
this
right?
place,
Or Greek.
there were no people were wearing regular clothes.
They were wearing clothes. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very
Yes.
very nicely done. Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm sure people got a lot of insights out of this. Um, they're free to make their own connections. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased with my own theory that I'm connecting
Yeah.
things with, but more pieces to the puzzle for everyone
Yeah.
to connect. So
And everyone just take like whatever you want to take from it because yeah, who knows? You might not even touch this place. And just maybe like all I took from it was to kind of check like where my heavy emotions were in
yeah,
this life, you know?
yeah, I think this place is
Kind
like in
of.
the moon or something. So
Huh?
I think this place is like in the moon or something. To be honest, it's like a level of the
And
astral.
I've started watching the Hotel de Luna.
Oh yeah, I gotta watch
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too. Yep.
Oh, you did? You
Yes.
watched that?
No, I forgot about that. I gotta watch that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I only watched
Yeah.
the
So
first.
that's similar to what she was describing, similar to the movie we just described, and it's Hotel de la Luna. La
Yeah,
Luna means moon in Spanish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alrighty. Well, I will link Jen's Substack below to join if you'd like to hear more of these experiences. Thank you guys for watching the video. Give it a like if you enjoyed this one. Leave some wonderful comments for Jen below. Let us know what you thought. Show some support and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.